Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I will be introducing a new exercise. As we all know that our tongue is very much involved in speaking. So I'll be doing some tongue exercises. The first one is you have to take out your tongue outside and pull it downwards as much as you can, and then upward as much as you can. You have to repeat the exercise for 2 to 3 times, or you can do up to 5 times. So let's start the first exercise. Okay, it is the first exercise. Then the next exercise is you have to rotate your tongue between your lip and teeth 5 times clockwise and 5 times anti-clockwise. Let's start. Okay, next is you have to push your tongue on the upper hard palate as much as you can. Upper hard palate and lower hard palate just back of the lower teeth, like this. You have to repeat the exercise for 5 times. Then the last exercise is using your tongue. You have to push your cheek outwards, and at the same time your hand should try to push it inwards, like this. Both sides 5 times each. Okay, that's the tongue exercise. Now let's come to our reading practice. The four stages of speech: a synthesis of Farah, Vashanti, Madhyama, and Vaikhari. Executive Summary. This document synthesizes the concept of the four stages of speech: para, pasyanti, madhyama, and vaikhari, as detailed in the provided sources. The core principle is that speech is not merely a physical act of communication, but a profound journey of consciousness, manifesting from absolute silence into articulated sound. The creation process, Srishti Crown, follows a descending order from the subtlest to the grossest. Para, transcendental, transcendental, Pashanti, visionary, Madhyama, mental, and Vaikhari, articulated. For a spiritual practitioner, sadhak, the path is a reverse journey, aiming to trace speech back from its physical form to its silent conscious source. At the Vaikhari stage, speech is physical. Speech is physical and audible, engaging the body. In Madhyama, it becomes the silent internal dialogue on the mind or the mind. At the level, consciousness pursues meaning and ideas holistically, becomes an age of vision where the intellect is dominant and the practitioner becomes an observer, thus drasta, rather than a doer, karta. The final stage, para, is the transcendental source, pure, undifferentiated consciousness, the ultimate silence beyond all expression, where the intellect emerges with the self, Atma. Spiritual practices such as mantra sadhana and kriya yoga are designed to facilitate this inner journey. Techniques like japa, repetition, moan, silence, and sakshi vav, witnessing, serve to quiet the outer layers of speech and bring awareness to the inner subtler realms, ultimately aiming for the experiential realization of the para state. This knowledge emphasizes that true mastery of speech lies not in controlling the tongue, but in purifying the inner states of consciousness from which all words originate. The foundational principle is which as manifest consciousness. The Sanatana tradition posits a profound view of speech or Vani as an expression of ultimate reality itself. The foundational concept of Shabda Brahman, sound is the absolute, and Vacham Brahma, speech is the absolute. Cited from the Rig Veda, elevate the act of speaking from a mundane activity to a sacred creative force. This perspective holds that all creation originated from a primordial sound or vibration, often identified as Om. Speech is not seen as something created, What is something that manifests? Each journey is a multi-layered process moving from the most subtle, unmanifest state of pure consciousness to the gross, physical level of audible words. This process is likened to a river. While we only see its mouth, the spoken word, its true source lies hidden deep in the mountains, pure consciousness. Therefore, to understand speech is to understand the very process by which consciousness expresses itself. Okay, that's the end of the reading practice. Now, for the last practice, I will read the tongue twister sentences or paragraphs. Feature fiber quick effect of fickle pepper. Effect of fickle pepper feature fiber fagged. Twigged. If feature fiber twigged effect of fickled pepper. Peppers. Where's the effect of fickled peppers feature fiber twigged? Feature fiber twigged effect of pickled peppers. Effect of pickled pepper feature fiber twigged. Feature fiber twigged effect of pickled peppers. Where's the effect of pickled peppers feature fiber twigged? Betty water bought some water. What she said the water's bitter. If I put it in my water, it will make my water bitter. But a bit of better water will make my water better. So twas better with the water bought a bit of better water. How much would a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would chuck, he would as much as he could, and chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Seashells by the seashore. Seashells, seashells by the seashore. Seashells by the seashore. How can a crayon, how can a crayon in a clean cream can? I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. A pack of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, where's the pack of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of batter butter would make my batter better. Better. So 'twas better Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter. How much would how much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood would he would chuck he would as much as he could and chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood. She sells by the seashore. She sells by the seashore. How can a clam cram in a clean cream can? I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Okay, everybody, that's it for today's exercise. See you tomorrow.